Yeah, a good game for us because we came into the game understanding that it was going to be more about us than them, and kind of wanted to see the focus of where the team's going to be in the first half and the second half, and see if we could put two solid halves together. And obviously, the first half we did better than the second half, and it's just something that we just got to continue to grow from. Unfortunately, Landers went out. We don't know his what's going on with him yet. We'll probably know more tomorrow for sure. But the rest of the team, I'm proud. At least if we played hard, but we just didn't play smart enough for me the entire game. Where we want to be, but we're getting close.
Danielle.
I was going to ask about Landers, but you addressed that. But my other question is about Ahmad and why you've been limiting his minutes in the last two games.
Well, Ahmad came back from the COVID contact tracing, and we're trying to get him back up to speed. He missed a lot of time, and he was already a little bit behind before he went out, and that set him back more. And I'm trying to find a rotation right now until he shows that he's all the way back conditioning-wise and everything in practice. I'm trying to get Lance and Malcolm ready with Musa ready to play in for the conference, and then we'll bring Ahmad along slowly.
Terry?
Hey, what's up, Coach?
What's going on, Terry?
Hey, man, you and Lindsay go way back, man. Just describe how your relationship has just blossomed over the years and led to this game, man.
Yeah, we go back, to the year that we both went into the NBA, having the Magic Johnson All-Star games here in Memphis and in Jackson, Tennessee. I always had much respect for Lindsay. He got drafted in the same year that I did, and it's a tough competitor, man. And he's in a rebuilding process in Valley, and I know he's going to get their program turned around. They give him the amount of time that he needs, and they're going to compete pretty soon for sure. Definitely in their league.
Jason.
Hey, Penny. From an execution standpoint, from an organization standpoint. What's your assessment of how the offense played tonight? Obviously, Damian was held out, but just given that and given how things went tonight, just execution-wise, organization-wise, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, these are those games where you really want to see what the execution looks like, and a lot of times in these games you don't have to execute as much because you just get downhill from just penetration and then we're throwing lobs and things of that nature. But when we did try to execute, we did pretty well. We didn't get into our spots fast enough. We're trying to get our guys to sprint more into our spots because when you play better teams, they're going to make you execute the entire game. And you can't have lapses or else they're going to go on runs. And we got to get good looks at the basket. And the way we're shooting threes right now, man, we got to get more in the paint. But the execution overall, I'll give it a B.
And then along the same lines there with Damian being out, how do you feel like things went from a point guard standpoint? I mean, it looked like, Lester handled some of it. Jaden handled some of it. Mm-hmm. Alex obviously handled some of it. So how do you feel like that went?
Yeah, we had to do it by committee. And I give that an A because, Alex had 11 assists and Lester had 7 assists. So 18 assists between those two guys is special. I don't know how many Jaden had. Maybe a couple assists to add to that. But, for Alex and Lester to have 18 assists together in this game, that's big. We were trying to get 30 assists. We got 25. So I give the point guard spot an A. Until the very end when it got really sloppy, when you got 30 and 40-point leads, the guys lose focus. But for the most part, I was proud of the point guard spot.
Mike?
Yeah, Penny, I know you said you probably won't know about Landers until tomorrow, but how nervous are you when you see one of your players go down like that? And not only that, as a player, you want to see the guy get right back up, and he stayed down for a while.
Yeah, he's a very tough kid, and when he stayed down, I knew something was wrong. And, just praying that it's nothing serious, that's something that he can kind of recover from before we get to Auburn. If it's not Auburn, then definitely maybe a week at most. Nothing's broken or fractured. And then he can recover. But it is tough when you're already down without DeAndre. And I know we keep mentioning him even though he's not eligible. But to have, Landers go down on top of that, it just reminds us of deja vu of last year with James leaving and DJ getting injured. It's still next man up, but you don't like to see it as a coach.
Is it his hand? Did he land on his hand? Do you know what just what part of the body the injury was to?
Yeah, he said he braced his fall with his hand, and then the back of his head hit the floor. So his wrist is sore, and hopefully it's just soreness and nothing else.
Terry?
Hey, Penny, you had one view of your team after you left South Dakota. What's your view of your team heading to Atlanta?
That we're growing in the right direction. You know, before we went to South Dakota, you know, there were a lot of question marks, and we really didn't have an identity. For me, now we have an identity. We're going to get after people, and we're going to play hard. We're going to turn them over. So I like the identity that we have moving forward, especially when you're going to go into a game against Auburn.
Jason, last question.
And it seemed like there was a concerted effort offensively to, when you weren't in transition, a concerted effort to drive, kick, and shoot. And I know that you've been sort of preaching that all season and leading up to this season, but it looked like tonight was the first time maybe that you've seen it consistently throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we're going to continue to preach. That's something that we do every day in practice. We even do drills on, you know, from good to great, having a good play or a good shot and then passing it one more time for a great shot. And the guys understand that, but you can never understand where a kid's mind is in the game. He doesn't have any points. He's looking at the score clock, maybe gets a couple of selfish plays. You know, it happens with guys, especially in games like this when you're going to win by a lot of points or you're winning by a lot of points. But, you know, tonight we didn't make a conscious effort to try to give ourselves a goal of 30 assists, and we got to 25, and I was proud of that. But it looked like it was supposed to look tonight.